Good day, class. Good day sa lahat ng sections ko. So, this video discussion was intended sa lahat na din dahil tatapusin ko to hanggang sa pinakadulo ng mga police corruption being discussed or nandito sa topic niyo mismo. Then, yung final natin mag-start dito sa police deviance. So, sa iba na discuss ko na to, so you can skip na lang din. Then, proceed kayo doon sa mga part na hindi nyo pa narinig ang discussion. So, we have here the police deviance. Pag sinabi natin police deviance, sabi dito sa definition, includes all activities, lahat daw po ng activities na sinasabi, which is inconsistent with the norms, values, or ethics. So, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, ang police deviance, yung tinutukoy nito, is yung mga actions of police officer while they're performing their duties, there is a certain violation na ginagawa nila in terms of, it can be legal, o pag sinabi natin legal, it can be the process of our criminal justice system. Na pag sinabi natin organizational, ito yung mga rules and regulation being set by the organization. Then, at the same time, yung mga ethical standard being set. We have the RA 6713, which is dapat supposed to be there are certain ethical standard that police officer must follow. So, na-violate nila yun. So, papasok dito sa police deviance. So, it can be an abuse of authority. At the same time, the purpose of doing this as a police officer for them is to what? Gain personal. Yung magkaroon ng personal gain. It can be money or whatsoever, power, authority. Ano man yung perspective ng police officer in terms of doing such act, which is the police deviance. We have here the next slide, the next topic, we have the slippery slope. It was being defined is a part of corruption continuum wherein an honest police turns bad. It was being emphasized na yung before, isa siyang honest na police, then naging turn into bad police officer. Dahil dito, sinabi na it is repeatedly accepting free meals dahil lang sa mga free meals, mga pamerenda, papetiks-petiks, may mga libre-libre na natatanggap niya coming from the community or doon sa mga taong violator na, uy, palusutin mo lang ako, sir, meron ako dito, sir, pamerenda, o sige, ganon. So, ang ibig sabihin po nito, parang nasanay po yung isang police officer na mag-accept ng ganong mga bagay. Then, at the same time, once na pag nasanay tayo, yung expectation natin tataas. So, sinabi dyan, kaya nga, corruption continuum, slippery slope, kumbaga, para kang nadulas at hindi ka na nakabangon, dun ka na lang. At unti-unting, maging serious yung mga misbehavior and at the same time, yung corruption or illegal activities na nagagawa mo inside the PNP organization. Slippery slope, keyword po, the corruption continuum, which is pag nagsimula ka sa maliit na pagtanggap-tanggap ng yung mga sinasabi natin papetiks-petiks, yung free meal, o yung mga inaabot, okay, tataas yan. Pag nasanay ka, your expectation, lalaki at lalaki yung magiging violation mo in the future. Kasi halimbawa, hindi ka nahuli, hindi nabigyan ng punishment. Same lang din yan sa aspect nyo as a student. Halimbawa, pag hindi kayo nahuli at the first place na nag-cheat kayo, nangudigo, so masasanay kayo. So halimbawa, 5 number ng item lang yung nasagutan mo, maybe next time, pag hindi ka nahuli, pwedeng 10 na or maybe lahat na talaga ng content ng exam. The same as with the police officers na nagatanggap ng mga ganong bagay. So, lalaki at lalaki yung mga illegalities. Kumbaga, increase, kumbaga ba, dati 100 pesos lang ang ginadawat mo pamerenda. So, baka mag-demand ka na ng 100K. Okay? Dahil mas malaki na rin yung kapalit na binibigay mo as a police officer. Next, we have here the types of police deviance. We have the police corruption, gratuity, perjury, brutality. So, may discuss natin yan isa-isa. We have the first place, we have the police corruption. We have the major categories of corruption engaged in by police officers. Number 1, we have the negotiable graft. Pag sinabi natin negotiable graft, it is a mutual bargaining behavior engaged between officers and criminals. Tandaan nyo po, pag sinabi natin negotiable graft, yung in-between, ito, yung officers and criminals, which they have a mutual bargaining. Pag sinabi nating bargaining, merong benefits si police officer, then meron ding benefits yung criminal. So, ano yung pwede nating magiging example ng mga situation na to? Halimbawa, ang isang criminal, ngayon nalaman niya na identified na pala yung fingerprint niya doon sa isang crime scene at kilala niya din yung, kumbaga, kilala niya yung certain police officer na nag-investigate ng case na yon, possible yung murder or homicide, then pinuntahan niya, at the same time nakipag-usap ganito, ganyan, sir, possible po ba na pwede yung fingerprint na ganun? Yung nakita mo na evidence inside the crime scene, bigyan kita ng 500k, for example, wag mo nang i-proceed yun, wag mo nang i-present sa higher court para mawala yung ang point sa akin as maging suspect. So, ganon. Kung nag-agree si police officer, then yun na papasok ang mutual bargaining. Bakit? Tumanggap si police officer in terms of money, which is yun ang gain niya, money. Then, ang gain ng criminal is yung hindi siya madidiin doon sa ginawa niyang criminal activity. So, yun, negotiable graft. Negotiation between officer and criminal. Ito yung aspect na as a police officer, they treat the law like something that can be negotiated, which is supposed to be not. Pag sinabi natin negotiated, na pag-uusapan. So, pwede ba yun pag nag-enforce tayo ng law, pwede mahangyo-hangyo lang? Parang palengke hangyo lang? No, it's not. It's supposed to be the police officer must enforce the law properly. Sa kaya siya napasok dito sa police corruption. Kasi nasisira niya yung ating criminal justice system itself, which is the process. Next, we have the extortion, Okay, next we have the extortion. Sabi dito sa extortion, it is a form of solicitation of money and favors by officers in return for ignoring violations of the law. Ito yung commonly na encounter, maybe you as my student, one of you na-encounter ito yung mga extortion, which is yung police officer sometimes initiated na they solicit money coming from those people who violate the law. For example, nahuli ka, meron kang violation within traffic rules. Okay, wala kang lisensya, wala kang helmet, for example. Ngayon, sasabihin sa'yo ng police officer, sir, dadalhin po namin yung lisensya mo, kukunin po ang lisensya, then at the same time, kukunin yung motor, idadalhin doon sa city. Okay, sa city traffic. Then kukunin mo na lang po doon, sir, yung total po ng amount na mababayaran mo po or more than 10,000, for example itself. Ngayon, then, there is a certain option that the police officer will offer to that violator. Sasabihin niya, pero sir, meron po tayong, sir, pwede naman mapag-usapan to, sir. Like something, magbigay ka na lang ng kahit magkano dyan, sir, pang mirenda lang namin, grupo. Okay? Para hindi ka na sir, para hindi na yung time mo din also. Hindi na masayang. Kumbaga, makalakat ka na diriso. Kaya kung ihisaka pa, sabi na mo ng imong lisensya, sir, it means, baka yung 10 years mo, magiging 5 years na lang yan. Kasi meron ka ng violation. So, ngayon, okay? Pero, ang nag-initiate is the police officer. Merong pressure doon in between sa negotiation. Baka kasi malito kayo, ma'am, parang magka-the same sila ni negotiable graft. No, it's not. It is because in terms of extortion, there is a certain involvement of pressure, power, and at the same time, intimidation. It can be force. Okay? Dito sa example na binigay ko, yung masasabi ko dito is pressure. Then at the same time, the power. Okay? Bakit power and pressure? It is because gidiscuss ng police officer, oy, ganito ang mangyayari sa lisensya mo. Ganito kalaki ang babayaran mo. As a netizen, as a violator, mape-pressure ka. So, doon ka na lang magsisettle sa mas maliit na na ibibigay mo sa kanya, which is, for example, 500 pesos. Okay? So, ang pinagkaiba ng negotiable graft, it was being, yung involved dito is the police officer and the criminal. Pag dito naman sa extortion, it can be any people who violated the law. And it can be yung mga deputized na mga police officer na kasama ng mga LTO. Then pag sinabi din nating extortion, it can be any higher authority or any authority or those person having an authority. Pwede nila itong gawin to intimidate, to pressure a certain person para magbigay lang ng pera. Okay? I hope you understand. Pag sinabing extortion, keyword nyo dito, yung mag-solicit ng money, then at the same time para ma-ignore yung violations na violate ng isang netizen. So, next we have the acceptance of petty bribes. Pag sinabi natin acceptance of petty bribes, it is the situation is that of the motorist who stop for traffic violation, the motorist offers an officer a small bribe. Okay? Okay, next, yung sinabi natin na acceptance of petty bribes, it is all about a police officer takes a small amount of money, mga gifts, pwedeng pamirienda, yung libre lang sa kanto, libreng saging, libreng pagkain sa restaurant, libreng pamasahe, yung mga small bribes. Pag sinabi natin petty kasi small, okay, small gifts, yung mga binibigay lang, ay hindi naman masyadong malaki ang value. Then pag once tanggapin na isang police officer, it can be a form of saying thank you. Then minsan, so pag sinabi nating petty acceptance, hindi din daw po yan siya pwede inside the police organization kasi makonsider din siya na police corruption. It is because kasi baka ma-misinterpret ng ibang tao that you are accepting even a small amount of money or small amount of gifts. Kasi pag once you are serving the community, you are a public servant, dapat iwasan natin yan because it can able to destroy the image of the police organization. Kasi baka isipin ng iba sinusuhulan ka na kahit na maliit yan na bagay. Kaya nga sabi natin, di ba, nagsisimula sa maliit hanggang sa masanay, hanggang sa lalaki at magdedemanda ngayon ang kapulisan. Then at the same time, hindi na nila gagawin yung responsibility nila as a police officer. Next, we have the moonlighting. Sabi dyan, engaging in any business or without compensation which is incompatible with the PNP duties and or functions. Pag sinabi po nating moonlighting, it is all about a police officer, nagkuha siya sa ibang nga job, takes another job. Kumbaga, yes, lagay natin dito, yung police officer, take, okay, wala pa akong pen, take another job. Okay, nagkaroon siya ng ibang trabaho aside doon sa duty niya as a police officer. Maybe it can be what daw? Sabi sa definition, with or without compensation. Meron o walang bayad. So, ano yung pwede nating maging example nito? Halimbawa, isang officer, nag-private guard siya ngayon sa isang politician. Maybe, kung kakilala niya ang politician, pwede walang bayad. So, ano lang, parang friend lang ba? Okay, ako na yung nag-guard sa'yo. But, pag sinabi nating moonlighting, pag sinabing without compensation or with compensation, pwedeng may bayad, amount of money. Pero bakit ang question, ma'am, moonlighting, it is a positive side of a police officer kasi nag-hustle siya to earn money. But in terms of PNP organization, it was being discouraged. It is because mahahati yung focus ng isang police officer and yung magkakaroon ng conflict of interest. Pag sinabi natin conflict of interest, kumbaga, yung sinasabi nating focus, hindi natin maa-assure kung kanino ba talaga ang loyalty ng isang police officer. Kasi malay natin sa ibang tao na siya nag-serve, it is because may another sang job. Pero, ma'am, what if merong business na sariling restaurant, for example, ng police officer. Ngayon, nagtagabantay siya, ma'am, hindi ito pwede. Pwede siya, guys. Kasi ang gina-emphasize ng moonlighting na halimbawa, gumawa ka ng trabaho which is time mo pa. Halimbawa, nag-duty ka, subong nga adlaw. Wala ka pa nag-out, supposed to be dapat 8 p.m. ang out mo. Nag-out ka na 2 p.m. It is because, based on our example kanina, hindi mong bantayan yung politician mo na friend. So, yun ang bawal. Kasi, nade-disregard mo yung duty mo as a police officer, then, nakafocus ka doon sa pagbigay ng service to another person. Yan po ang tinutukoy natin. Pero, it is okay po if, halimbawa, may mga businesses, then hindi naman po time ng duty, then it is okay as long as it cannot affect the performance of the police officer. Next, we have the oppression. Pag sinabi natin oppressions, imports an act of cruelty, severity, and lawful execution of excessive use of authority. Oppression means it is violating the rights of every person. Kasi pag sinabi natin oppression, for example, you are arresting a certain person, babae, for example, na maligya, drugs, karong kay ugot-ugot, kikikida mo damo, pila ka kilo, 5 ka kilo ang nadakpan mo sa iya. Wala naman, hindi naman nanlaban yung babae, pero sa gigil mo as a police officer ngayon, binugbog mo. Ngayon, nagkaroon ng act of cruelty and severity in terms of you're not able to control your emotion, cruelty in terms of physical abuse, and unlawful execution or excessive use of authority. Hindi na yun justifiable enough. It is because cooperative naman, based on our scenario, yung naaresto nating nagbenta ng droga. So, oppression, keyword yun lang dito in terms of our quizzes, memory bites, yung act of cruelty. Yan, tandaan nyo po yan. Unlawful, excessive use of authority. So, proceed tayo sa our next topic. We have the classifications of corrupt police officers. So, kumbaga dito, pag sinabing classification, kumbaga, dugitagaan lang nila sang label. Kumbaga, labeling nila ang police officer in terms of what kind of corrupt activities they are doing. For example, number 1 here, sabi dito, grass eaters. So, pag sinabi natin grass eaters, parang konting nguya lang, pwede mo nang malunok, kaya tinatawag kang vegetarian cops. Bakit man? It is in line with the definition na ang sabi dyan, you are committing just a minor type of corruption. Yun lang, ganun lang kasimple. Police officer committing minor type of corruption. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman nating number 2, the meat eaters, ito yung mga pwede nating mabanggit, carnivorous, diba? Pag carnivorous, dugay, malata, dugay ang process pag magluto ka, diba, sang karne, pag tigulang na, it means So, dito naman, in line with the police officer's action, ito yung, kumbaga maghahanap ka pa ng mga paraan para yung paggawa mo ng certain illegal activities or corruption inside the police, organization, mahabaan pa kasi maghahanap ka pa ng opportunities. Hindi kasi lahat merong oportunidad. Okay? So, yan. Maghahanap ka pa. Sabi kasi dito, you are going to seek what? Seek. Yan ang tandaan. Seek out corruption, itong opportunities. And engage in both. Ang keyword dito ha, both minor and major patterns of corruption. So, double blade pala si meat eaters. It is because para na din siyang grass, then at the same time meat. It is because minor and major. Diba sabi nga natin, diba magsisimula ka sa minor, papunta sa major in terms of committing a corruption inside the police officer. Inside the police organization. Next, we have here the straight shooter. Ito yung mga police officer na kayang magsakripisyo or kayang ipaglaban ang kanilang organization in terms of what? Ito, cover or i-conceal nila ang corrupt practices inside the police department o yung tinatawag natin na organization. Okay? Kaya nila, sila yung mga tao na halimbawa pag inimbestigahan yung kanilang station. Ngayon, kasi may nag-report ganito, ganyan yung kapulisan. Ngayon, may nag-investigate. Another police coming from other, like, it can be a regional officer. Ngayon, magtatanong doon, sir, mag-ask lang po sana ako, ano ba yung klaseng kapulisan meron dito? Ano ba ang nangyayari? So, ngayon, pag sa example na straight shooter, ngayon, i-deny niya, ay, sir, wala namang problema po dito, sir. Actually, mababait at ano po ng mga pulis dito. Ginagawa po nila lahat ng trabaho nila. Okay? So ngayon, tinakpan niya. It is because there is certain corrupt practices inside of that police department. Pero, pag straight shooter ka, you are ready. Ready ka para protektahan ang kagagusang imo nga mga upod sa trabaho as police officer. Yes, yun lang. Next, pag sinabi nating rogues, eto yung hoodlums in uniforms. Pag sinabi nating hoodlums, kumbaga daw mantsa nga nagtago sa pinakanami ng uniform. Ngayon, tawag ko nga scalawags. It is because, yes, as we see, if police officer they are wearing their uniform, lalo na kung type A, napakagwapa at saka napakagwapo. Maraming chicks at maraming lalaki na pwedeng mapalapit. Pero behind that uniform, pwede silang tawaging hoodlum. It is because there is certain negative vibes. Pag sinabi natin negative vibes, kasi ang pagka-define dito, meron silang ginapossess that they are doing all the deviant behavior as a corrupt police officer. Yun ang tinutukoy dyan. Pag sinabi nating rogues, ito yung, kumbaga kung may sapat, amo na ng pinakasapat sa tanan. Kay ara sa iya ang tanan nga mga illegalities in terms of corrupting the organization of police officer. Yan, rogues. Next, we have the police gratuity. Pag sinabi po nating police gratuity, sabi dyan po is gratuity is the receipt of free meals, services, or discounts. So pag sinabi natin ganito, when a police officer, kumbaga, a police officer receives something which is valuable, okay, coming from other people, okay, kahit hindi naman illegal yung action. Okay, ito yung mga simple gifts, mga meals, free service lang ba? Kaya tinawag siyang police gratuity. Kasi, pag i-compare natin siya sa police corruption, police gratuity, police corruption kasi, pag yun ang mga ginawa mo, yung na-discuss natin kanina, na 5, it can affect the criminal justice system, which is the process itself. Pag sinabi naman kasi natin police gratuity, ang effect po nito is magkakaroon lang ng bias treatment or favoritism. But it doesn't affect the criminal justice system. Yung proseso in terms of arresting, in terms of serving the guilt of a certain person, evidence, yung mga ganon. Kasi sa police corruption, pwede nating itawag criminal act. Okay? Criminal act. Pag dito naman kasi sa police gratuity, mafo-fall lang po siya in terms of mga unethical or misbehavior or misconduct ng isang police officer. Yeah, simple. Giving a free meal, discount, yung mga sinasabi natin, mga small token, gipasalamatan ka. But it is a form of saying thank you. But, yun nga sabi natin kayo, sa petty bribes, supposed to be, as a police officer, based on the conduct, ethical conduct, you should not accept those offers coming from other people. Yun po ang gratuity. So dapat ma-differentiate ninyo police gratuity versus police corruption. Okay? Pag sinabi nating mooching, sabi dyan, when there is an implied favor, a wink and nod. Sabi dyan, a wink and a nod. So anong ibig sabihin pag sinabing mooching? Parang when there is an implied favor, ang keyword nyo dito pag sinabing mooching, yung tinatawag na implied. Okay, naka-highlight naman yung implied favor na parang hindi naman sinasabi directly, vocally ng isang police officer na gusto niya ng mga ganun like free meals, tokens, pero just a simple wink or nod, parang understandable na daw na okay, police ba ako? Sige na, librehan na lang kong pagkaon. Parang ganun. Like, simply saying that they want something. Okay? Pero not vocally or not literally being displayed na very obvious to the people. Kasi kabaliktaran siya ni chiseling. Ito yung chiseling. Ito yung tinatawag natin. When the police officer is quite blatant. Ito yung keyword. Pag sinabi natin quite blatant, ito naman yung very obvious. Okay? Ito talaga yung pinapangalandakan. Kumbaga kung may miga, ginapanghambog kagid ang mga ginapanghimo nyo nga duha. So it means parang ano siya, very vocal in terms of demanding, kasi sabi dyan demanding free services. Yan, kabaliktaran ni mooching. So pag sinabi naman natin shopping, parang ano lang siya, form of police gratuity na nasali lang dito, na halimbawa nagpatrol yung isang police officer, nagpatrol siya karon kay there is a certain opportunity, merong opportunity na pumasok, opportunity karon kuha niya ang mga items inside the store while nagapatrol ang police officer. Okay? Yan lang. Simple as that. Next, we have the police perjury. Pag sinabi natin police perjury, leaving out certain pertinent pieces of information in order to fix a criminal prosecution. Supposed to be, as a police officer kasi, isa din sa nasumpaan na dapat once you are investigating a certain case, supposed to be, dapat pag nag-file ka ng mga affidavits, yung filing of affidavits, incident report, dapat you must honestly, kung ano talaga yung nakita mo in terms of the report, coming the statement of the witnesses, dapat yun talaga ang isulat mo. Walang labis, walang kulang, walang dagdag ba, walang bawas. So pag sinabi natin kasi police perjury, the police officer knowingly, okay? Keyword natin talaga dito, the police officer knowingly. Kasi alam niya naman na sinumpaan niya knowingly na supposed to be hindi siya mag-lie, pero nagbigay siya ng false statement. Okay? Nagbigay siya ng false statement in line with the case or mga situation na pwedeng mangyari inside the police organization. Kasi pag sinabi natin perjury, you are under oath kasi. Okay? may sinumpaan ka, you are under oath na dapat sabihin mo lang. So matatawag ka, okay, police perjury pag once you violate kasi you knowingly give false statement. Yun, yung sinasabi natin. For example, yung nag-file ka ng affidavits na dapat, pag nag-write tayo ng mga affidavit, commonly happened when writing incident report, yung IR. If police write false statements or facts, kumbaga pinalitan niya na halimbawa dapat baril yung nakita doon sa naiwan ng suspect, nilagay niya lang doon baseball bat, okay, pinalitan niya kasi pag doon kasi sa gun, okay, baka kakilala niya sa baril, may naiwang fingerprint, ngayon iniwan niya yung baseball bat, pinalitan, okay, so it means yung statement na nandoon is not real anymore. Okay? Then, pag ipasa yun, hindi na ma-identify if that certain suspect involved on the case being investigated is truly guilty or not guilty. Next, halimbawa, police officer is considered as pwede silang mag-testify in court. So, halimbawa, pag tinanong sila ng judge doon, okay, police officer, based on the crime scene you see, can kindly please dictate what are the evidences you found, okay? Ano yung mga nakita niyong evidences? Ngayon, hindi binanggit lahat ng police officer dahil may tinago sila. Okay? Give false statement, okay, on the case nga ginaimbestigahan nila. So, papasok sila dito sa police perjury. So, yan ang example natin. Next, we have the dropsy evidence. Parang example na lang ito ng police perjury in terms of doing this kind of illegal activities. Kasi sabi, pag sinabing dropsy evidence, if the officer testifies untruthfully in court that he or she saw the offender drop some narcotics or contraband. Kumbaga dito, nagsinungaling ang police officer na supposed to be wala namang nilaglag yung offender, pero sinabi niyang meron. Kumbaga, dumatawag tani siya nga kumbaga sana iya pa tanim bala. Okay, hulog ebidensya. Okay, mas nidagdagan pa yung ebidensya which is hindi naman ginawa ng offender. So, under oath siya, so pwede siyang papasok dito sa perjury. Next, we have here lying. Kumbaga dogi, tagaan lang siya sang another term na ang isa ka police officer naga-lie into court. So, tawag siya lying. Ito na yung papasok na naga-testify ka sa court. Lying in court. Next, we have the police brutality. Pag sinabi nating police brutality, it refers to the physical violence or yung mga excessive or unnecessary force committed by the police officer while they're doing or gina-carry out nila ang ila duty. For example, lang lahat ta sila karon sang isa ka suspect, gipahog nila, okay? Aminin mo na ikaw talaga yung nagpatay kay Maria, for example. Aminin mo. Tapos may nakatutok na baril. Okay? So, supposed to be, nasa sa mismong pinaghulihan, ngayon, nagkaroon na ng pinilit na umamin, which is wala pang kasamang counsel, yung suspect. So, nagkaroon ng threat and intimidation and in terms of abuse of authority. So, matatawag natin yung police brutality. Yun ang police brutality. So, bigyan ko pa kayo ng mga further example, which is yung halimbawa, yung beating a suspect when she is already, kumbaga, nakapusas, pero gikulata mo gyapon. Wala naman siya nag-resist, wala naman siya gabato, gikulata mo gyapon kaysa kaugot mo. So, police brutality. Karon, may another example, gitiro mo, gipusil mo ang suspect, nga wala man nagpakita sang like imminent danger sa imo as a police officer, nagapamunong for example man, cooperative, gintiro mo, okay, dahil hindi mo na control ang anger, police brutality, mahuhulog. Ngayon, number 3, we have torturing a detainee to force confession. Yun ang nasabi ko kanina, yung parang gusto lang paaminin, ngayon gitorture nila, which is yung statement coming from that suspect, inadmissible na siya. It is because hindi na siya dumaan sa tamang proseso. So, this type of pwedeng makasuhan yung police officer, it can be a criminal case or administrative. Pagpapasok tayo sa criminal case, pwedeng papasok si Article 262, yung 266, which is the physical injuries. If yung binugbog talaga nila is mas marami talagang paksa, sugat, contusion, okay, laceration, then pwede din siyang magpapasok sa RA 9745, which is yung violation of anti-torture natin. Pag sinabi naman dito sa administrative, pwede natin ikaso dito is yung we have the grave misconduct under RA 8551, which is yung ito rin papasok yung PNP Reform and Reorganization Act. Okay. Ang possible na pwedeng ikaso, administrative and criminal case. So, yung itong dito na, ito, I will not discuss this. Kasi parang wala to eh. This is an example of a case. I will not consider that. Kasi yan, use excessiveness, sarcasm, ridicule, okay? Ridicule, then police jargon, the application of break, okay, gisabdya mo pre. I will not consider that. Kasi parang hindi siya part in terms of explaining police brutality, but there is a certain example, pero yung mga bigay ko kanina is enough in order for you to understand. Okay, next we have here, okay, wala na to, hindi ko ito in-include. Next we have the police profanity. Simple as that. As a police officer, you cannot able to use what? Abusive language that are patently offensive. Okay, nakakasakit sa ibang tao. Okay? Ano yung mga types of profanity natin? In terms of religious connotation, yung mga baka nasanay din kayo nito, yung hell, god, damn, okay? Indicating excretory functions, ito yung shit and piss. Okay, police officer are not allowed to say that. Then, yung mga, in terms yung connected with sexual functions, we have the fuck you, yung mga ganon. So, as a police officer, you must not indulge with this kind of mga vulgar words, kumbaga abusive language. Kumbaga, kahit naman hindi ka gumamit ng mga ganito, yung pagsigaw is a part also ng in terms of profanity for me. I will add yelling. Yung nangyari doon sa fire truck, yung pagsigaw mo, even though you are not like, hindi mo naman to nabanggit yung mga ganito, pero sinigawan mo, grabe ang duro-duro mo. Then, part po siya ng pagiging police profanity because, ano ba, you yell, then you cause, gi-curse ni mga citizen, then nakadulot sa isang naulawan siya. So, papasok siya dito. Bakit nga ba, question natin, bakit nga ba police officer are not allowed to do this? Okay? It is because, as a police officer kasi, you are expected to show your professionalism and at the same time discipline and respect at all times sa tanan nga tao. Whatever kind of person is that, even though na hindi man siya powerful. Then, pag sinabi naman nating anong pwedeng makaso sa kanila, pag ganito yung ginawa nila, hindi naman mako-fall into criminal case, pero magkakaroon lang ng administrative case. Pag sinabi po nating administrative case, magkakaroon lang ng conduct of unbecoming, pwede bigyan ng punishment. Okay, itanggalon anay siya sa trabaho, sang pila ka semana. Okay, pwede niya siya papasok sa RA 8551 also, which is the police profanity. Okay, next we have the sex on duty or duty related. Ito yung mga involvement na in terms of nababastos na, meron nang na-offend na mga, for example, babae. So ito din, maybe nagagawa din ito minsan ng kapulisan. Next, sabi dito, pag sinabi nating traffic stops, ito yung to get a closer look at the female or information about her. Ito yung point na ang police officer, gigamit niya ang iyang authority to demand or for sexual favors. Halimbawa, ang isa ka motorista, isa ka babae, nagamotor siya, gwapa-gwapa, abi siya eh. Okay? Okay, gwapa daw na ano ang police officer karon? Iyagi may violation gid man gitagaan sang ticket, kaya ara gid man tuod, hindi man lang gid gihimo may tuod gid man nga violation ang babae. But there is a certain situation na parang tinakot ng police officer na naka-duty doon sa isang checkpoint, itikitan niya, okay, ma'am, pwede ko ni siya ano ang mga violation, ma'am. Lagay lang ko sang number mo, ma'am, pwede ta magkita, ma'am, mag-date, ganun. Parang there is a certain na, parang nag-a-ask siya ng something which is in terms of like, yes, mararamdaman natin yun kung ano man yung gusto ng, for example, ng lalaki. Okay, commonly kasi ito nagagawa ng kalalaki, napakahirap. Hindi naman ako in terms sa gender ha, But mostly based on research din also, yung mga nagagawa ng ganito is yung mga kalalakihan natin kasi sometimes hindi nakokontrol ganun. So, pwedeng kunin ng information, pwedeng i-chat. So, ma'am, bakit bawal yun? Kasi, bakit ganito bawal yan? Yes, bawal talaga yan. It is, di ba, meron tayong RA 11313. Okay? Ano ng RA 11313? Ito yung Safe Spaces Act. So, dito pa lang, sasagad mo ka pa ngayo sa number, then gi-ask mo sang date, then nagadinay ang babae, tapos ipagamitan mo, pag isang authority mo as a police, gitikitan mo, tapos ang kapalit noon, hindi mo siya tikitan para lang ihatag tong amo to. So, na-violate yung Safe Space Act. So, pwede yan, type pambabastos law, pwede ipasok natin dyan. Then, yung RA 319, yung Corrupt Practices Act, then pwede na ipasok dito yung yung anti-sexual harassment, pwede. Pag too much yung ginawa ng isang police officer under RA 7877. So, pwede siyang final ng criminal case and administrative cases. Actually, lahat po ito na involved dito sa sex on duty or duty related is punishable under criminal case or it can be administrative cases. Pag sinabi kasi nating administrative cases, ito yung mga disciplinary action na ginahatag sa organization sa police. Next, we have the fox hunting. From the word fox hunting, di ba? Pag mag-fox hunting ka, pangitao mo gitong pinakanami ng fox, pinakanami ang karne, same as dito sa in line with the police organization. You are stopping college girls to get I will anything routine. So, parang may kulang dito sa sentence pa, no? Pero, ang pinopoint out dito sa fox hunting, yung hahanap ka ng babae, ginagamit mo yung authority mo, maghahanap ka ng mga attractive women, tapos sila yung ito-target mo. You are going to use your authority as a police officer, then i-flirt mo sila, flirting ba? Nagkakaroon dito ng flirting. I-flirt mo siya, flirting, gamitan mo authority, karon kayo naka full gear uniform, kakausapin, hihinga ng number, okay? Which is fox hunting. Okay? Maghahanap ka ng mga attractive woman. Okay, which is sila yung magiging sila target. Okay? Target, pwede uyabon, pwede kabiton, okay? Pag may asawa, pero kung wala naman, pwede damo, 3+1, okay? Pag 3 pataas. So, wag naman sana ganun. So, fox hunting, maghanap ng attractive woman, if a flirt, siya magiging target, whatsoever purposes of a police officer. Yung ginagamit yung authority. Yung meron tayo sometimes. Next, voyeurism. When do peeping or interrupting lovers, lane couple. Ito yung sometimes na, halimbawa, isang police officer, like, secretly, they watch, kung gina-record nila ba, like, sometimes, gina-picturean, ang mga, like, ang sa katao, halimbawa, ng iyang private part, okay, halimbawa, pag nag-ilis, nag-uba, karong gipicturan niya, gibidyohan, so, papasok yan sa voyeurism. So, pasok pa rin siya, criminal case, RA, 11313, then at the same time, 319, then yung 7877. So, pwede ding administrative case in terms of disciplinary action na pwedeng ibigay ng organization. Next, we have the victim recontacts. Ito yung you are consoling victims who have psychological needs. Meron kasi nag-report sa police station na sometimes merong anxiety, depression, karon kaya nakita mo itong nag-report itong babae, gwapa man, okay? So, baga grab mo ang opportunity na ara siya sa pinaka-part nga pinaka-low sa iyang kinabuhi, kumbaga down na down siya ba? Karon as a police officer kay do natipuhan mo siya, karon gigamit mo ang authority mo, gikuha mo ang iyang contact dito sa base dito sa report, kay naghatag man siya report kay something, halimbawa binugbog siya ng asawa niya o boyfriend, karon nag-report sa women's desk. Ngayon kinuha mo yung number niya, gichat, balingag. Okay, gikuha mong number niya, gitext mo siya. Ay ma'am, good afternoon, ganon. Musta ka na ma'am? Okay na pumatsyag mo, mga ganon. Okay ka na? Naka ano ka na sa imo nga nabatyagan? Like, Okay na? Yung parang ganun, gina-comfort ng police officer. Yung mga victims na nagkakaroon ng, pag sinabi kasi natin psychological needs, need nila ng something which is magkakaroon sila ng emotionally comfort, for example. So, gigrab ang opportunity ng isang police officer para gawin. Anong violation na nagawa ng police officer? One, yung sa example ko, pagkuha pa lang ng number galing doon sa record, which is, di ba, we have the secrecy discipline. Dapat, we cannot able to divulge. Kahit nga tayo yung gumamit, pero hindi naman in line sa duty mo na chatan mo siya, ma'am, kamusta ka na, okay ka na, nagkaon ka na da. So, hindi siya part ng pagiging duty mo as a police officer. Next, we have the opposite strip searches. Pag sinabi natin opposite, touching or having sex with jail inmates, ito yung parang ang gina-emphasize dito. Halimbawa, dapat kung pag sa halimbawa, diba, we have the checkpoint, magkapa ng katawan ng babae. Pag babae yung dumaan, dapat babae din yung kakapa sa katawan mismo. Okay? Then at the same time, gi-emphasize po nila din na bawal daw may kapag-sex sa jail inmates. Parang parang nangyayari din to. Hindi naman siya commonly, pero nangyayari talaga to. Yung halimbawa, police officer, karon kay sila may authority. Yung mga example natin, we have the BJMP sa agency nila. Okay? Meron nakapasok na babae, then type nila, then karon kay wala man ay i-grab nilang opportunity. It is because they are the one who is guarding the jail. So i-grab nilang opportunity, abuse their authority. So either going to do their like kung ano man yung gusto nila. Okay, kung wala naman kasi magawa kasi piniriso man ka, pwede ba ka lahadlokon, pwede ka nila i-threat. So wala ka magawa. So under sa sex on duty or duty related. Next, we have the sexual shakedowns. Ito yung letting prostitute go if they perform sexual acts. Ano niyo, ma'am? Letting prostitute to go. Being a prostitute is a violation. Pinagbabawal na din siya. But ang kapalit nito, gina-refer dito as a police officer daw, they are going to let go if, halimbawa, sa akon ka na lang, sa akon ang gina-perform sa iban, tayo yung gagawa, pautwasa lang kung for example, yung mga gano'n na mga scenario, okay, then hindi nila yung mga prostitutes. So, sexual shakedown. Tandaan nyo na, letting prostitute go if they perform sexual act. Hindi naman na literally they are going to perform like sexual intercourse, but pwede yung mga BJ na ginagawa, yung hikap-hikap lang, yung mga ganon. So, alam niyo na yan, hindi naman din kayo mga minor, no? Then sa subject kay Sir Academia, grabe din yung mga term. So, yun, sexual shakedowns. Next, we have the sleeping on duty. So, i-explain ko lang, pag sinabi natin sleeping on duty, it is like ang police officer, habang ginagawa niya yung duty niya sa police officer, hindi niya ginagawa ng tama kasi natutulog siya. Yun lang gina-emphasize dyan. So, ano na lang ang elaborate natin? Bakit yung pinagbabawal? Grabe ka naman. Nga pagbawalan mo matulog ang police officer. Ma'am, kapoy man na. Hindi naman sa pinagbabawalan sila, but it was being considered kasi na pag once natulog ka during your duty hours is considered as neglect of duty. Okay? Lagay natin dito, it can be considered as what? Neglect of duty. Yung pinabayaan mo na yung responsibilidad mo bilang police. It is because it can endanger the public safety. For example, like ara ka gid man dira na posting ara ang patrol car mo. For example, nakikita ko din to sometimes, na-observe ko, ara man ang patrol car, pero ang police officer ara sa sulod, naga-cellphone. So, hindi man siya natulog, pero merong neglect doon. Then, pwede din natin i-connect, ara ang police car, tapos ara sa sulod ang police officer, natulog. So, may ara ba dito nga safety nga na-provide sa community? Yes, nakaposting siya on duty, pero anong ginagawa niya? It is a form of neglecting their duty. Kumbaga, nagkakaroon ng lack of responsibility, failure to respond. Pag mayroon mang mangyayari na criminality dyan, then it can be damage talaga the public trust. Ito yung magiging effect na mangyayari. Damage public trust. Okay? Di ba tama man? Uy, sa manang pulis na ito, nakita lang man na may patrol ngani, pero nagatulog man, naga-cellphone. So, wala. Hindi ma-build talaga, masisira talaga yung imahe ng pulis. So dito, parang mga example lang ito, we have the traveling bedroom. Sabi dyan, refers to a police car during night shift. So, yung natutulog sa police car, yan. Hole or cop, area where the sleeping takes place. Kung saan ka nag-duty, like, doon ka na din matulog. Magdala ka ng tent, it can be. Okay, yan. Pag sabihin natin naman ng gold breaking, the avoidance of war, performing only the amount minimally necessary to satisfy. Yung ibig sabihin po nito, you perform your duty, pero hindi 100%. Yun na, pwede natin may example. Ara ka gani idara. Your presence is nakikita sa public, pero yung duty mo na maging alert ka, hindi mo ginagawa. Hindi ka nagbabantay. Okay? So, yan. Gold breaking. Next, we have the drinking and abusing drugs on duty. Ito yung halimbawa, palahubog, okay, palainom, nag-take sang illegal drugs. Dapat emphasize na rin, no? Illegal dapat. Kasi pag drugs kasi, may drugs, nag-inom ta drugs mo. Okay? While on duty, ang i-emphasize ko na lang diri, why it is being, part siya ng, ng police officer, illegalities. Kasi pag once you are drinking, abusing drugs on duty, it can cause impair of the ability. Kumbaga magkakaroon ng lubak yung mga, pag sinabing lubak, kumbaga magkakaroon tayo ng mistakes in terms of doing our responsibilities. Hindi na tayo totally na 100% yung ability na napapakita natin based on our responsibilities. Di ba? Tama man, maapektuhan talaga yung, in terms dito, number 1 talaga yung decision making. Okay? Once nahubog ka, okay, maapektuhan talaga yung decision making mo as a police officer. Then, yung control talaga. Control na masasabi, yung control. Pwede ka na makabaril. Okay? You are under the influence of alcoholic drinks. Or it can be illegal drugs. So, hindi na talaga proper ang in terms of decision making. Kaya hindi siya gina-allow inside the police organization habang nagtatrabaho tayo. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag natin na serious misconduct. Then, pwede din, we have the administrative conduct. Pwede kang i-suspense i-dismiss, or i-reprimand, bigyan ng punishment. Next, we have the misuse of confidential information. This is the last topic that I'm going to discuss. Then, the next will be the community relations. It can be next week, possible. Misuse of confidential information involves the jeopardization of ongoing investigators by leaking information to friends, relatives, to public press, or basta, ang gina-emphasize dari kay dapat as a police officer, pag sinabing jeopardization, dapat ito yung act where police officer did not put oneself at risk, okay, due to negligence, misconduct, or poor judgment while performing duties. Anong gina-emphasize diri? Kung gilik mo. Okay, gilik mo ba? Gidivulge mo ang information, inilabas mo. Kaya di ba may mga police officer kaya na nagtatanong yung asawa niya, diin ang operation yung subong, diin kang malakat, ano oras kang malakat. Sometimes hindi sinasabi ng police officer niya na asawa niya. It is because it is confidential. Yan, yung sinasabi natin, confidentiality. We have the secrecy discipline. Dapat hindi natin i-share yung mga information na meron tayo inside the police organization. Gi-emphasize na even though friends, relatives, or is ka ng mga reporter, it is because it can destroy the process of the operation. Pag malik na karon, din itong mga criminal na mga target nyo, pwedeng makatik-tik. Then, hindi na kayo magiging successful based on your operation. So, ano mga violation na meron dito? Okay? Pwede papasok yan pa din sa RA 3019 na meron tayo. Then, yung 6713 na na-discuss natin before sa midterm. Okay? I hope may naintindihan kayo dito sa atin na discussion. Thank you sa pakikinig sa ating topic. Okay? That's all for today. Good day and God bless everyone. Ingat po kayo always.